So any example can you give in terms of how you helped your customers on this, uh, like in terms of generating leads, especially?
When it comes to content marketing is very less, but patience and consistency is the key here. More than 75% of SaaS companies, they are actually in the plan to increase their content marketing
Hmm.
budgets according to HubSpot. So these three are the healthcare, manufacturing, and SaaS are the top three industries according to my research and studies in the past, Karthik.
Got it. Okay. So what metrics do you believe are crucial, when it comes to content marketing, for measuring success, right? And how do you track and analyze the performance of your campaigns?
Right, so I think I should go back to my previous answer. So, when someone says metrics, especially, I'll take one by one example. Okay, when it is social media, followers doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't count.
Hmm.
Now, number of impressions or the engagement rate matters the most. So that is with regards to social media. And when it comes to blogs and websites, it is the again, number of impressions, click through rate. So who has clicked from that particular page to come to your contact us page, you know and what is the if there are any comments or any inquiries that is leading to the contact us page, that also matters the most. And a lot of blogs these days, they are having the viewership, so how many people have viewed your content.
Hmm.
So earlier in the initial stage, if you're establishing a B2B company or a SaaS company, in the initial stage your focus should ideally be 80% on brand awareness, and that's when your number of views this particular blog or number of impressions this particular post has got matters the most to you. So the other 20% will obviously involve your paid marketing activities, where each company has its own strategy. So this 80% of focus should be around viewership. That's where your brand awareness happens, and it is a cycle. So when the viewers go to your contact us page, you can nurture the leads from there. They'll submit the inquiries, and somebody from your sales team contact. So all these things happen. When it comes to analyzing and tracking the performance, say for example one post or one blog would not have performed really well. The reason why I'm keeping blogs and social media posts as a prime example is that people can easily relate to it, right? There might be emails also, email marketings also, but the relatability factor is more when it compares to other content formats. So getting back to your question again, tracking the performance and analysis, this can also be applied to email marketing as well. So one particular campaign wouldn't have performed really well. So what you should do is that you should tweak your strategy in the upcoming months, and you should avoid that kind of a content, and you should try something new. So this experimentation phase, you should be ready. So like I mentioned earlier, there is no thumb rule or there is no playbook, so it is not always like one thing fits all. So you have to keep experimenting and see how posts are performing, and then take a call. So I think that answered your question, Karthik.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I got it. Yeah. So a lot of the times I think, yeah. So there's lot of vanity metrics people take into consideration, right? So what is, how many followers do you have? Like how many people, just liking posts and stuff like that, right? So it doesn't. So end of the day, it doesn't matter, right? So what matters is what is your objective, and are you achieving your objective? So for example, even you said email marketing, right? So for me, when I initially started, I've been doing it for 20 years, right? So I've been an email like SDR, calling. So my measuring was, say, oh, so many people opened my email. Okay, so it was a great email, right? End of the day, now I realize that doesn't matter, right? How many people
How many
responded?
respond?
Yeah, how many people responded to you, and how many conversations you've had, right? That's the only thing that matters. And see, same even for creating content on social media, right? So it doesn't matter if you are getting a million impression and zero leads, right? right? Those kind of content, and I've tried all that kind of a content, right? And I've written, content that you know got like 2,000, 3,000 impressions and still like couple of leads, versus a content which gave 100,000 impressions and still like nothing, right? So a lot of the times I think everybody is too engrossed with those numbers, right? It looks
Numbers.
really good on the outside, but then whether it is. And there's another example that I actually spoke to a girl. Okay, so I interviewed her, and she had about 60,000 followers on LinkedIn. Okay, and this girl applied for a job. So basically, I asked her like, why are you doing it? And you've been a personal branding expert, right? And she said, Karthik, I know I'm a personal branding expert. I know that I have a lot of these followers, and I don't know how to make money out of some of them, right? So she didn't know how to monetize like those followers, and she was doing in and out. She was making like 20, 30K per month, and sometimes like not a very regular kind of a consistent income. So she applied for a job and she got the offer also from me, and then she also got another offer. So basically picked up the other offer, and she started focusing on like once the desperation was out, she had a job, stable job, money every month, and then she was able to really focus on what matters the most, and then start focusing on converting, and then she started doing pretty well on like her personal branding, right? So she took the desperate thing out of the equation, and those days it was all like, oh, okay, I have like 50,000 impressions, and I've like I have so much of audience, 60,000 followers, right? End of the day, what matters is, are they the right followers? Are they giving you like are they engaging with you? Are they giving you money, right? Are they becoming a lead? Are they the right kind of an audience? Those things matter a lot when it comes to creating content and of actually building followers on social media, right? So absolutely right on that. So the next question, right? So marketing is always ever changing, and we more than anybody in the world, I think we have to keep ourselves updated on the latest trends and industry changes that's happening around, right? So there's Gen AI, the chat GPTs of the world, and there is also technology. You have even for content, right? You have new tools coming up every single day, right? You have YouTube buffer kind of tools, and then you have SEMrush and Ahrefs kind of tools, right? So which is also coming up like for us, right? And that also keeps changing, right? The way that the use cases change drastically, I've not seen in any other industry except in marketing. So what is your process in terms of how you and your team stay ahead of industry changes, and what advice do you have for marketers to adapt to the latest trends and technologies?
Okay, so AI is one happening trend. Okay, so when ChatGPT came into the picture, a lot of people like, so did you try ChatGPT? They even asked us the question, is it a threat? Are you shutting down because ChatGPT, is going to take your jobs? And it's like, no, we are not shutting down anytime soon. If at all there is a situation, we'll try something else. That's what I told. And slowly, when we started using Chat GPT, we kind of understood, it as the tool. Thanks to technology, I shouldn't. I'm not someone who blames tools or give negative comments on such tools. But technology has done a fantastic job, but the tool has its own limitations. So what Penthusiasts does with Chat GPT is that, so there is something called writer's block that you face when you are
Hmm.
creating a content piece, especially this is in the writing stage, I'm saying. So basically the stages are strategizing, creating the calendar, then creating the content and designing, publishing and analytics, distribution. So these are all the stages, and in the writing stages, in the third stage, so there will be something. If you have to do 1,500 word blog or a long case study, you will be stuck somewhere. So you will feel like you're lost, and you will not have ideas, or you will run out of resources from the internet. So at that time, if you just run a query on Chat GPT, it will throw you some ideas. So only for this purpose, currently at Penthusiasts, we are actually seeing Chat GPT being relevant, because we do have our own process, and we generally don't rely on tools. So chat gpt can help us. Tools like chat gpt or ai generated tools can actually help us to get rid of the writer's block. Okay, then and it will also give us a lot of ideas. Okay, but if you need to be very conscious about how you are using it, because the moment you run a question on ChatGPT, what you should also ideally be doing is that you should take it to Google, validate that search, collect the sources, and then do your content piece. If you completely rely on that kind of a tool to only to create just a copy paste your content, then I think you will be in trouble later on. So that is another thing. And fourth thing is that, see, when it comes to trends are changing and a lot of things are happening, but while this is happening in a very fast paced manner, you should not forego the traditional practices, the funnel concept or your SEO. So SEO is still alive, and not many people are using it potentially. So you should not forego all these concepts. You should still be doing it, because we may not know which platform or where your customers will come from. Okay, which of
Yeah.
these activities will generate leads. It is still, though there are like lot of tried and tested results, proven results, you may not know unless you are experimenting for the particular brand you're working with. The last one is like a lot of B2C brands, they are actually stepping into metaverse marketing. So I think we had a lot of chat earlier, Karthik, on metaverse marketing. So when it comes to metaverse marketing, B2C brands, especially in the luxury segment, they are really doing well. And there might be some possibilities for B2Bs to create their own metaverse, do the marketing, and place their uh, products there, do a selling, give a premium viewership of the metaverse for their elite customers. So all these things, it might come soon to B2B also. And when I speak about metaverse marketing, the matrices, the performance analytics, all these things are still under research. So I don't think it's it is very late. It can come to us anytime soon. So B2B brands should also have an eye for all these latest picks in the industry. So one is how to learning how to use the AI tool. The second one is not to let go the traditional method, and third one is trending concepts like metaverse marketing. Always have an eye for it. And one piece I would like to add to these pointers, it's that consistency, and I have actually mentioned it earlier also. When it comes to content, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to content, consistency plays a very important role. And like usually B2B lead generation activity is a very process. It is a process with lot of patience involved. When if you're doing through content, you need even more patience, so you should be patient enough and consistent enough when you are trying to generate leads through content.
Got it. Any suggestion in terms of what tools you're using right now apart from ChatGPT for people, especially for content? Uh, your dream tech stack. How does it look like?
Karthik, we are actually limiting the tool usage. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of use whenever there is need and necessary. We don't use everything on a daily basis. So, see, we use ClickUp and Slack for project management. Okay, for
Okay.
content, idea generation, removing writer's block, we use ChatGPT. And
Hmm.
other than that, for keywords, we use Uber Suggest. And for
Hmm.
certain design ideas, just to get ideas, okay, we use Canva. So it is a very quite basic setup. So we are also coming up with something that can actually audit content on your social media and website and give you a score. So, and that is in pipeline. And yeah, I mean, grammarly, yes, that is very basic,
Got
but
it.
though we
Yeah.
use grammarly, we don't trust tools. Sometimes we, tend to
Mm-hmm.
proofread it once the project manager does the proofreading. So there are also other, a couple of other tools, but what we do is, if we arrive at something, say we arrive at a trending search result, we go to Twitter, or we go to Google search, and we'll just ensure that it is trending. We
Mm.
kind of don't blindly go by tools, because we what if, I'm always this what if person. So what if
Mm.
we rely on a tool's result, and tomorrow there is a trending news saying that this tool has been bugged, and a lot of people who are using this, it resulted to something
Mm-hmm.
negative. So we always have a counter mechanism, though we use tools.
Got it. So, what lessons like you have personally learned, right, from the mentoring and the leadership experience, right? And how do you, how is this influence your approach of managing this team at Enthusiast?
So when it comes to see, before the fifth year of Penthusiasts, which is the previous year, I didn't have any idea about mentoring, and when I got an opportunity, I thought, okay, I have done something pretty decent in the industry, and let me go. Let me also invest in that aspect of entrepreneurship. So one thing I always believed is that you should be constantly learning, which applies to me by default, because I'm a constant learner. At the same time, when you are in the mentor kind of a thing, there is always some limelight on you, as in people will be interested to know more about what you're doing. They will blindly follow you. Okay, so at that point, what happens is that you should focus a lot on disciplining yourself, both in career and personal life. So there are a lot of work discipline principles, personal life discipline principles that you should be following, because there you are seen as a mentor by people, and you shouldn't be giving them wrong signals, or about doing things in a certain way. And they should also see your mistakes, they should also see what you have gone through, so that they can relate. At the same time, they will know that you're not perfect. Okay, so that is something that I see, I learned from people, which I'm actually practicing, so that people will learn from me. At the same time, so when you do this by default, people will follow you, and you are actually setting a path for the other leaders within the company.
Got it. And what suggestion feedback you have for people who are trying to hire content writers in their team, and how do you how do you make sure that they're at the right path, right? What kind of a process will you set up, and what kind of an advice you have for people who's trying to hire content writers?
So to hire content writers, so first they should identify, company should identify their need. Okay,
Hmm.
so what kind of a content writer? Content writer is a very vast term, and either he's a B2B content writer or a B2C writer. That is the prime thing that they need to identify. That depends on the business by default. Okay, so if Gillette is hiring, is definitely going to it is a B2C brand, and
Hmm.
uh, if say for example Microsoft is hiring, it is a B2B and B2C. So they need to have that distinction properly mentioned in their JD. Okay, and some people, they expect a content writer to be versatile, as in they can write any form of content. Given the opportunity, all that they need is that opportunity to prove. So for that, for you to get into that versatile role, you should for somebody to get into that versatile role, he should at least have a minimum of 4 or 5 years of experience in the industry. Only
Mm-hmm.
then he will have an awareness about what are the content formats that are companies doing, the basics. So when he has that awareness, he will by default come to that tuning methodology in his mind. So if he is writing a social media copy for a B2B fintech company, he should invest 2 hours, 1 hour in research and 1 hour in copy.
Hmm.
Okay. And the reason I'm saying 2 hours is that only when you invest so much time, you will get a quality social media copy out of that research. So if you are writing a blog, you should ideally be investing three full working days, which is like 7 to 8 hours in researching and writing. So after that, you should spend half a day in proofreading. Though there are tools, you can cut down the time by half a day, which is like 4 hours and not much. So ideally, he should be aware of the process that is involved in writing, every piece of content. So that is another tip that I could give. And one more thing, what I wanted to tell is never ask any writer for a free sample. Though you are hiring them as a candidate, keep the writing activity limited, because I hear from candidates as well as people inside my team, when they have pages and pages of writing work, they get exhausted with the interview process, and
Hmm.
they lose that fire of getting into the company, learning over the job and things like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
So as a employer, I think you should understand the nuances of hiring the resource. So not many companies in the start, they are blessed with an HR team or have the financial are in the right financial position to afford for a HR or a HR consultant to do it. But if you are just starting, I think these are the things you should consider while hiring a content writer.
Got it. So, what is your favorite piece of content? What do you really
Favorite.
like? Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a very okay, quirky answer. I would say product descriptions, Karthik, because that is where the real challenge is. Though that doesn't have anything to do with SaaS or SaaS marketing per se, that's where the real challenge is, because there will be hundreds of products in an e-commerce business. Okay, so AI tools can definitely do that.
Hmm.
So if there are, like, say you're selling a t-shirt and there are 5 colors of t-shirt, you cannot ask ChatGPT for multiple, creative product descriptions. And you have to literally compete with the machine to provide a creative output. So that's where the real challenge is. And off late, I'm loving product descriptions. And I have always liked strategizing and creating content for social media, because, of the adrenaline rush when you see, 1,000 impressions, 5,000 impressions, 100 likes, and lot of comments. That's a human tendency. So the results are seen right up front. So I think I would say social media as the,
Social media
yeah,
post,
yeah,
LinkedIn post
yeah,
specifically.
LinkedIn content, yes. So I also like long form, but the thing is, I would say I would like to get myself logged in a room before starting to write a long form content, because I kind of give my 200% when it comes to writing long form, and it is quite tedious and will take a lot of time to do.
Got it. Got it. One last question. What advice do you have for upcoming content writers, content marketers, right? So what uh, maybe a couple of maybe two, three things that they need to do for them to become really good at what they do.
One would be learn how to use the AI tools efficiently,
Hmm.
okay, and just not do the copy pasting activity. The second one would be, try to understand the basics, right? So some people even struggle at knowing, they don't know what is a strategy, what is a calendar.
Hmm.
If I say multiple content formats or different forms of content, they'll bat their eyelids like this, and they'll be,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's a very basic thing. So if you want to get into this kind of a role, anybody can do this. they need to have the basics right, and there are a lot of tools available online to read the basics of content marketing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's great.
So
S-
that's the thing. And third thing is that your content piece, whatever you write, it has to be realistic, because it doesn't stop with content. It will either be converted as a video or social media post. So you should have that knowledge, or you should be intuitive enough to give the communication or the signals to the designer to make it a beautiful video or a social media creative or an infographic. So that kind of a thought process they should have.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for the advice for content writers, right? So with this, I think we have come to the conclusion of this episode. Thanks, Purnima, for your time. Thanks for joining the podcast. It was amazing learning from you on what are the things to do on content and how should companies think about content marketing as a whole. So with this, I think we have come to the end of this episode. Thanks, guys, for joining again. We'll join you on the next episode. Thanks, Purnima.
Thanks,
Do
Karthik.
you have anything to say? Final words?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. So I used to be your LinkedIn follower, and we met, and the relationship evolved from there. So it is. I feel very glad to be talking to you about content today. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. We'll hope to do a lot of things together in the near future. And to job seekers in the content marketing field, wishing you all the best. Please learn the basics right, and also keep watching Rev Growth as well as Penthusiasts social media posts in case you are looking for a job in the next 2-3 months.
Yeah, I just want to end with one experience that we both had. I just still remember that episode of we've hired the same person on payroll, and that person has been working with three companies, right? And I think then we figured the problem, and then we spoke to each other, and I had that my first bad experience of hiring somebody who was so naive and and she didn't even realize that she was working in three companies, right? She just said, I will manage, right? Like she committed full time for all three companies, and I think the thing that I still have that hiring challenger, and I think I'm pretty sure you also have that same issues with people, right? And I think yeah, having said that, we found that problem, solve the problem of hiring really really good people, and I think now I have close to 20-25 people in my team also. So again, yeah, I think it was. I mean, we keep bumping into each other, and I hope to see you again in some of the events. And hopefully,
Sure, Karthik.
I think we also work together on one project. Yeah, hopefully, I think looking forward to working with you on many more of that. Thanks, Purnima. Thanks
Sure.
for your time
Lot of
again.
learning my way, Karthik. So if at all there is an opportunity together to learn, I mean to work together, I think I'll learn a lot from you guys. So I'm waiting for it. So when it comes to hiring, people has to go with their instinct, gut feeling about hiring a candidate. So I think that's where we kind of synced up and we spoke to each other about the candidate. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Thanks again. Okay, so I'll
Thanks,
see you.
thanks,
Thank
Karthik.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, and please subscribe.